swear to God, I guarantee you wake up, or you come back from work, and I have the energy to go for a run. I'm gonna go to the gym. You thus spoketh to yourself. And you're not lying to yourself. You're not trying to give yourself a pep talk. You're 100% legit. You got the energy. You got the mental wherewithal. You're like, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'll mow the yard. And I had it 15 minutes. I'm gonna do a podcast. God, I'm in the mood. And then between the time I was creating the thumbnail and I was like, just a podcast. Oh my God. That's like a huge endeavor. Is it like working on the oil rigs? This is real work, man. This is like getting shot in war. This is a podcast. Oh, I don't know what happened. Just all. So I was like, yeah, we're going to go. Maybe you spend so much energy getting excited about the fact you have energy, but your body gets old and your brain gets withered and weathered, and whatever, It just gets and yeah, like that much energy you have taxes your body out of it. I wanted to bang this one out. It would be a quick podcast, famous last words. But it was some really, and you see it, and you see like, oh my God, I gotta talk about this thing. Got to do it justice, make a whole thing about it. And the concept is simple, but I think the consequences are a little bit, well, they're serious. They're far-reaching because of the way we've been brainwashed. But now I'm going to tell you a story. Now, I am down in Vegas. This is last year, and one of several, if you can believe it, of my black friends. I don't do the normal white guy Minnesota stuff. Okay, your average Minnesotans hates everyone, except the only people that Minnesotans hate more than everyone is themselves. Okay. And if you want to be a real good Minnesotan, you have to have your token black friend. Now, you don't like the guy or nothing, or girl, all right? You hate him. I don't know. And same thing, token gay friend or not straight friend. They've opened up the books for that. But if you want to be a good Minnesotan, you have to have your token black friend that you never hang out with. You talk to every once in a while, maybe on the internet or something. And then you brag to other self-loathing Minnesotans just how much you care about the minority. I have a black friend. And all the Minnesotans like, oh my God, we care so much. Yeah, how is it that black people aren't doing so well in Minnesota? I thought, speaking of Democrats, I thought you guys were one of the more left or leaning states. How is it the black community in your state is doing probably, well, maybe not as bad as, say, California, but ain't doing so well? If you all care so much, what's going on? I thought and you're so educated in Minnesota with your fucking universities. Hey, you all have this figured out. Oh, you just need more money. Just haven't had enough, just liking that critical mass of money. What is that critical mass? Mass, one might ask. Well, it's not enough. Not enough. Anyway, unlike most Minnesotans, I do actually have multiple real black friends who I've met in the real world. I've actually hung out with them. And I'm not a good Minnesotan because I don't secretly hate them. Okay. I actually like hanging out with Richard. As a matter of fact, my bastard friend Richard, he's not a bastard, by the way, he doesn't know his mom. He hasn't come golfing with me, and shame on him. I'll know he'll probably tune into this. He'll probably tune in. But I have multiple black friends. I have some Latino friends and Atham. And we got some gay friends, and we actually have probably way more diversity in our little crew down here. I have another black friend. I have multiple, but this is the second black friend who wasn't the first one. And I don't want to mention his name because he would be pretty easily identified. But this guy is really smart, very smart. He's a STEM, very intelligent, very philosophical, very deep. And I've known him for over 10 years now. And this is your real friend. He's the guy that comes and visits you regularly. Now that's the other thing. He's got kids, little ones. And I got some friends who, including my other black buddy, who hasn't visited me in Vegas. He has kids, but he would still be able to make it out. I got another guy, a friend of mine who happens to not be black, and he has kids. But the guys like they got kids, right? Little ones that need them, and they still come out to hang out with you. Like that's pretty good friend you got there. So this guy flies out to Vegas, and he had a mission. He says, "I want to go hike in Utah," and I'm like, "You don't have okay, don't have to twist my arm for this." And, he even had a place picked out. We're ready to go, and the next time he comes up, we gotta go do Zion. We didn't do Zion, but it was Zion adjacent. And so, we're driving up there, and he's not wedded to where he currently lives now. And we're going through St. George, Utah. I think we did stop at Alvaro's, and, he's looking around, he's like, "This is nice. Look at these houses that are going up on top of the cliffs, and you can see the mountain. You come up." For those of you who haven't looked this up, well, he's been there. Vegas is down below in the basin, and you drive north east towards where Nevada and a corner of Arizona and Utah all kind of meet, form a T intersection. And you just cross a little bit across Arizona. Everyone looked this up on the map. And once you get to that intersection, more or less, you shoot up about 2,200 feet up the Virgin River, and now you're on a new basin, a new plateau that St. George, Utah happens to be in, and it goes from pure desert to semi-desert. You get some trees. There's still cactus and shrubs and sagebrush and all that. So, but it's significantly more green. Well, to the immediate northwest of St. George is a no joke mountain. I think is 10,000 feet tall. So that commonly has snow, and there's pine. So in this very small area, you have desert to alpine mountains. In St. George, you can see all that. That's to your west. To your east is Zion and all the Wile E. Coyote canyons and cliffs and everything. Just a beautiful, beautiful place. There's not really any drinking. I guess the Mormons got rid of coffee. So I was like looking for like just a coffee cafe. And they got scooters, but they didn't have like a lot of. You think, okay, there's no booze here. There should be some pretty good coffee cafes to sit and chill out. No, nothing. You got scooters. There was another place, but I guess the King Mormon or the Mormon King or president, whoever it is, he said no coffee. It was like back in 2008. It's like, what the hell are people going to do? And they're like, oh, I guess they just stay at home and have sex with their 8 wives and make more Mormons, I guess. Anyway, it's just a beautiful spot. And if you're going to raise a family and not a big partier, this might be a place for you to consider. Well, he's a family man, and I don't think he drinks at all. We pull into town. He's looking around, and whoa, whoa. And I'm okay if my buddy wants to buy a place in St. George. He says, I should look for a house here. I'm like, yes, you should. Then I don't have to pay for hotels when I want to go hike Zion. So the running joke we got now, not only with him, but my other buddy, not a black guy. I'll be letting you know who's black and who's not, just to show you just how fucking diverse I am with my friends. Another buddy of mine, he's also looking in St. George, Utah, and a third buddy of mine and I, we like, yeah, when you gonna buy your place in St. George, Utah? And jokingly, both of them, I'll go on the internet like Zillow or something, and I always search infinity pool because that's gonna be rich. And I'll find like some ridiculously overpriced, like $2 million up there, and it's got the view of the mountains. I say, hey, get this one. Get this. It has a room for me. Hey, when are you going to buy it? Stop talking about buying a place in St. George. Go buy a place in St. George, so we don't have to pay for lodging no more. We can just stay there for weeks on it. Matter of fact, you could just leave. We'll watch over your house for you. Things are getting a little hot in Vegas. I think about go up where it's about 15 degrees cooler and just hike all over Zion for 2 months. Free lodging. So we're driving up, and he's real impressed. And we get to the hike. All the other Utahites, whoever they are, Uh, they were driving their four-wheelers on this trail, and we hiked up a canyon more or less to get to where there's this waterfall, and I think last year there was a lot of rain, a lot of snow, so this place was just flowing. And it was really he's about my age, but it was like being in the '80s all over again because 'cause we're hoofing it, and people are offering to give us rides like, "No, we're doing it old school." We get to this, waterfall area, people are there. Someone had already some entrepreneurial-minded person had, brought, like, ice cream, like, a legit ice cream shop, like, with signage and everything. People are grilling, some people are jumping into the water even though it's ice freezing cold, and we hoof it across the stream, and then we just kinda bushwhack it back down, but the stream was so high, it was somewhat of a challenge and an adventure crossing back over, "Well, the trail's over there, well, we gotta cross the stream again." And then we finally got back up out of the canyon and hooked up to the trail that we were on there. But for more or less the entire time, and our conversation wasn't exclusively about this, but I noticed again, this guy's deep, this guy's philosophical, but I would have to say at least half of the conversation was either about or at least colored by the fact he was a black man. And black man is almost irrelevant, but the fact that his race. Now, in his defense, or to explain a little bit, he is a politically minded man. That's how we end up meeting up. I would guess conservative, maybe inklings of libertarianism. Um, he's very politically active in his local community. The guy's also no dummy, no slouch. I mean, he sits and he observes these things. But I realized while we're driving and hiking and driving back, it's not the only thing he talked about, but I started to sit and think like, how much, if he wasn't black, how much of our conversations would be about the various political and economic ramifications that are in part due to him being black or what he observes? In other words, if he wasn't a black man, just a white guy, what else would we have talked about? And this reminds me of a guy, I've been friends with him on the end. Now, this is not a real black male friend. I haven't met this guy, Emmanuel. This guy's pretty cool. We've chatted for gosh, 15 years, I think now on the end. Never met him. It's like Lars. Never Lars, by the way, not a black man, Scandinavian. Lars. His name's like Belkin Simpson. I don't know his last name, but it's one of them Scandinavian last names. I met him, but we had been internet friends for gosh, about 12 years. Anyway, long ago, I think this is even on the blog. I said, "Hey, Emmanuel, da da da. What do you think about that?" And I had asked him was something about related to him being black. He says, "Yeah, man, you know what? I don't really care about that anymore." Da, da, da. And I felt like I had offended him a little bit, like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, you know." He's like, "No, no, that's all right. But I want to go and do something else and focus on this. And I'm kind of over that whole race thing." And it stuck in my mind. It reminded me where I was hanging out with my buddy over in Utah. I'm like, Emmanuel kind of liberated himself from it. And then I said, like, okay, that's like 15 years ago, 12 years ago at least. How many seconds, how many hours, how many days, how many calories of energy has his thought been towards other things, whatever it is, than black, but that it's going through the lens of race, like my other buddy, whose observations, thoughts, very interesting, true, and perhaps because he's in the position, he sees it uh, real time and it's for real. And he's just like, man, this is crazy. And it is. The left is going crazy with traits. But then I started thinking, like, well, what if my buddy was not captured or tethered or somehow not biased, but pulled? His thinking was pulled to have a lot of his thinking factor in or be colored by or go through the lens of race. Now, my buddy is very independent, intelligent, and all that. It's not like he's dying for intellectual conversation and intellectual thought. But if that happened to my buddy, what's happening to the average person today or the average black man, to a young black kid? young black boy, let's start, okay? And we could expand this to other traits, but let's just focus on black men for now. How much of black male thought is governed, regulated, and ultimately restricted by or channeled? And restricted is almost too strong a word, but it definitely is channeled and is definitely limited where you have to view everything through race. And my buddy isn't one of those types. Oh, everything's through race. But because he is black, you almost accidentally slip into it unconsciously. And when it's such a big, important topic of conversation by institutions that are controlled by the left, mainly the media and our government right now, you think, but that's pretty big, all right? The media, it's about race, and are you lesbian? Are you female? Are you a girl boss? Certainly, it is in school and the news. It's everything is about trade. But how can you avoid it? And if you are pigeonholed or channeled or uh, quarantined into viewing everything, classic thing. Well, as a black female, I just shut the fuck up. No one gives a fuck about anything you said before. I think. Just start with I think. Well, as a woman, I just shut the fuck up. I don't give a shit about who you are. What do you, and it's always feel. It's never think or I know. Or I did some research the other day. How absurd would it be? As a white male, I found in my research, and it's like, what the research is the same. Came from the Federal Reserve or Fed database. It doesn't matter whether I got a white dick or I'm a Latina. It doesn't matter. And even though my friend, a lot of people here, minorities, not straight, whatever, however, you aren't a white male. I'm wondering how much, because of how you were raised, because the environment you're in, especially the political, sociological, news media, just the entertainment media alone, how much of your time and mental energy do you have to, well, one, I guess, how much are you unconsciously channeled to view everything through it because you almost have to? It's so ubiquitous, it's all over. And then because of that, what else could you have done, like my internet buddy, Emmanuel? And I was just kind of wondering, well, how much further or more varied intellectual interest could you have if it wasn't you had to spend like an intellectual, there's the black tax, but what if there was like an intellectual black tax? Like everything has to be thought through or has to factor in race. I guess one could make the argument everyone faces that now today because that's the first and foremost thing that the government has trained everyone in the United States to value is your traits. And so even though white male traits are not the most valuable traits according to the fucked up hierarchy of leftist dick sucking, all right, you still have to think about what as a white male, blah, 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 blah. Even this conversation, for example, this conversation we're having right now, or maybe I'm yelling at you and you're listening. Fine, it's interesting, but what else could we have done with this time? And if you consider the fact that my buddy is really intelligent and the average person is not, the average person is just average. I'm starting to look at the fact that you shove race, gender, sexual, whatever, in this particular case, race, up everyone's ass. Can your average black man, well, I would say you can't. You can't, if you are wasting your time worrying about traits you were born with, and that's where the lion's share of your intellectual fuel goes to or is used for, or somehow has to pay a tax or some has to be spent accounting for it in your intellectual philosophy or your is that not impairing or retarding, not a mentally retard, I mean retard like a fire retardant? Is that not impairing? Is that delaying and ultimately denying you an actual genuine intellectual life? For example, if you born in the poorest of the poor, or the Philadelphia barrio or ghetto, whatever, and everything is race, you don't have the escape velocity to get out of that. Everything is race. So what do you do? Well, if you make it to college, you're going to go study what? Racial justice, sociology, African American history. That's not going to get you out of poverty. And it never really escapes that philosophical intellectual bubble. You don't discover individualism. You don't discover the Stoics. You don't you don't discover pessimism, cynicism, and misanthropy with the author Schopenhauer, which would be spectacular. You're denied this. What could you have? Because see, now I'll give you another example. Um, the left hate him because he was one of them at one time, and they said, "Well, because the empiricism didn't work." Not Walter E. Williams. Why can't he passed away? Thomas Sowell. He, I wonder. He he was a. He think he was a Marxist. Someone he was definitely left. And he says, "I used to believe in socialism and Marxism." And they say, "Well, why'd you stop?" He says, "Because it doesn't work. The data and the empiricism was wrong. It didn't work." Right? And he liberated himself from whatever groupthink was chaining him down, limiting his brain. And he says, "No, this ain't adding up. This ain't this isn't squaring with reality." And so he was therefore liberated. His brain was liberated to go and enjoy in different lines of thought. Now, because he happens to be black, society, even conservative, libertarian, free, loop him back in. Look, see a black guy. Oh, see, it's like holy power. Look, a black guy. Which again, that might even limit him as well. What could he have achieved if he was just allowed to solely focus on economics? What if Colin Powell was just allowed to he passed away? I know different people have different opinions. What if he was just allowed to like go do the military thing, which I think he kind of was. I think in the 80s, 90s, like, look, we didn't man, we don't care. Come on, just come in, do the thing. But because the left controls such a large part of the media, the information, and the schools, that you are not allowed to be well, a black man or any kind of minority, any disadvantaged group, and just go do your intellectual thing. It has to always be limited, regulated, filtered through whatever trait that you were born with. And I was kind of sitting there thinking, like, it's it's not that he wasn't having good conversation. That wasn't it at all. It was great conversation. I'm thinking, how much freer would it have been? What else could have been discovered in his own mind? What else would he think about? How would his philosophy evolve differently? Now he's definitely evolved a different philosophy, but for your average person, your average person, think about you go to school, all right? And school's like America sucks. Whites are racist, men are patriarchy, standard stuff. Fall hard, money follow. I mean, you get the fucking shape is what you get. And depending on your race or the trade or whatever, you might come out a different flavor, different variety of sheep, but you're still sheep nonetheless. I wonder, what if you happen to be a gay guy and instead of the infrastructure and the institution all be like, oh my God, you're gay, 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 gay. Oh my God, here's a pride flag in Target. Oh my God, gay, you're gay. What are you like? But I'm going to go in nuclear engineering. And then in my private life, I suck dick, but I don't really, it's not. How much time and effort is wasted, especially younger people lives. You could be out actually having real intellectual conversation, actually having philosophy, actually discussing this. Look, we're all going to die. I think we're all in the same boat there. Well, I really strongly recommend one. We're okay. A couple unavoidable truths. One, you're all going to die. Two, everyone's an asshole in this country. Boy, stoicism really is probably the most practical philosophy. I wouldn't be worrying about social justice or I'm trying to think institutional isms and big. I'd be more worried about, is there a philosophy I could study so I could just tolerate the assholes in the world? Hey, here's stoicism. Oh, but it's a Greek. It's not a black philosophy. So what? It's still practical. And I could not help but think, how much has the left, Democrats, socialists, labor, whatever, how much have they held black men back? I mean that seriously. How over the generations, how many black men have been held back, and consequently other people of different victim groups and all that, but focusing on example here, how many black men have been held back from developing their full intellectual potential and or enjoying much more practical philosophy and or just having a better, happier life as a consequence of it? Because the envious philosophy, "Oh, whitey, the patriarchy," but not patriarchy, the white man, institutional racism. Okay, fine, yeah, well, okay, we got that. What about stoicism? What about learning to let go of things you don't control? What about, mortality? What about Epicureanism? Not to get too fancy with the words, and no, I don't mean the cooking dish. I mean the philosophy, which is more or less controlled hedonism. And it doesn't have to have a name. What if somebody like my buddy Emmanuel just wanted to go and ride bikes? What if he didn't want to be bothered by that? Like, don't you all get like I get pissed off. That's why I don't watch the news. I don't watch the news because I don't need the left ruining my life anymore. I'm going to go out and hike. I'm going to relax. I'm going to enjoy. Oh my God, women did this crazy thing. Yeah, they typically do that. It's not going to have an effect on me watching this waterfall. And obviously, because God, yeah, if I had to sit and think about that. All trait-based politics is about victimhood and envy and sadness and oppression and all those evil people over there. It's not gonna put you in a good mood. I'm not saying be naive to the fact that there might actually be bigotry or sexism or discrimination. That's not why, but when it's all your philosophy or every other consequential philosophy is viewed we could let's go to another group. I don't know why I didn't I got my answer. It's not good. Have you seen how happy feminist leftist women are? Have you seen what liberal white women turn out to be once they hit after menopause? Do you see we're having your entire well, not your entire philosophy, your entire worldview colored and informed by a political ideology or a value system, political philosophy based on a trait you were born with. I present to you the American middle-aged feminist. Look at that. Is that what you want? What could these women there's no doubt many smart women within these groups. Typically they're highly educated. And I do slam on college because for the most part it's worthless horseshit. But to get a degree and to show up on time, that does correlate with higher intelligence. When I say education majors have the lowest IQ, which is true, early childhood education majors have the lowest IQ, it's still like 103. It's still higher than average, which is 100. But so these women do have, like, let's say you have a doctorate in feminist study. Okay, worthless horseshit, but you're not necessarily dumb, and you know how to show up, and you do have somewhat of a work ethic. You're responsible. What could what could she have done instead? How would her intellectual life had been? What would her mental state be if it wasn't essentially blame men for everything and I hate men and I'm envious? Sorry to just really simplify feminism. I know there's more nuance, but I'm just what if it wasn't a religion of envy and hatred and pettiness and jealousy? What if it was just follow me on this? What if instead you took that time, effort, intellectual resources and you put it towards a hobby like painting or raising wiener dogs or cooking, right? What if there was or walking or fishing or just other philosophy? Now, I dare don't say, what if you put it into like being hot and working out and falling in love and finding a man and having children? Because that's oppressions. It's the oppressions. Oh my God. But taking men out and taking the logical next level, why instead of hating men, what if you loved them instead? Let's not just go there. What if you just became a good computer programmer? What if you became an author? What if you became a musician? Wouldn't your life be way better off, or your philosophical life more full and more enjoyable and more forward looking and ultimately more practical than just? I mean, what do you? Look, okay, fine. A class or 2 on women's studies, fine. A class or 2 on sexuality and different genders. Okay, sure, all right. Certainly part of the population, we should learn a little bit about got it. A doctorate? What how how granular, how made up full of whole cloth horse shit do you have to come up with to get a doctorate in essentially vagina worship? What? Wait, really? Don't you wanna diversify? Oh, you wanna try something a little bit new or different? Like, I don't like doing economics all the time. Every once in a while, like, yeah, hiking, motorcycle riding, nerd culture, anything. Want to sit there reading economics all the no one listens anyway. Oh, you just want to print off more money and bail people out and borrow in debt and not work. That's it. That's all economics is. Bunch of lazy, no good fucks who don't want to work. I'm done. I figured I've studied, I've learned all there is to study of economists. All people are lazy, worthless fucks who don't want to work, and they'll enslave their own children and grandchildren generation. There it is. There, finished economic. Period. There, done. Done. Good night. Good night, everybody. All right, what's next? Oh, let's learn how to cook. Learn how to work on cars. And so I was kind of watching. I was like, that's kind of just be aware to my audience. This would be good for everybody. Do not chain yourself. Do not limit yourself to what the left is telling you about traits you were born with, particularly black men. Because my audience is, I have friends who are black, mostly male and audience here. I think the message would reach out, and then, but all Latinos, any ladies out there, get news for you. What if your vagina wasn't the most important thing? What if you did something else? Just saying. Don't don't accept the premise of the left that traits you were born with are important. They're not. They're really not. They're not. It's like the brown-eyed group of people political action community. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. But really be on your guard going forward, especially with today's the news, the media, social media, the internet. Everything's about, no, man, you can be like my other buddies. Like, nah, man, I don't no, I got a life, I got a brain, I got a sentience, I got a soul, I got something going on up here. I just want a bike. He bikes, I hike. That's it. And this is not slamming on my friend at all. Absolutely not. Especially when they're like jamming it in your face, like, okay, I guess we got to deal with it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be who you are. It doesn't have to be your political or economic or lifelong philosophy. I would and try not to let them. Don't let the bastards get you down. Like oh my God, you're out here in South Dakota, a lot of American Indians, right? Tribe pride. Okay, I guess, sure. I mean, you gonna do anything else? No. Well, I don't know. You're here for about 75, 80 years, depending on your life expectancy. I don't know. You want to do something other than just, yeah, this is the way we were born. I, it really, it almost as if, like, remember the movie Cars from Disney before it just turned into shit? Do you think the cars cared what color they were? The hero car, he was like what, reddish orange, and his girlfriend was kind of like a purple blue Porsche, and then Mater was rusty. The Luigi was the Italian tire guy. He was Turk. Would it have mattered? I know the racing car had to be red. I get that. He had to be fancy red with the lightning. You got to tell him a red car. Oh, it's the blue car. It's the purple car. You don't have time for that shit. Couldn't even have a movie with it. Just couldn't have a movie like that. All right, let's go to the super chats. There, I got that. That was on my list. That was on my list, and now I get to cross it off my list. Bought a bunch of video games at GameStop. Hey, Thor's in the house. Thor, as a Scandinavian man, how do you feel about? Oh, the Minnesota did. Oh, I was telling somebody, says, hey, have you noticed the Timberwolves are in the playoffs. I'm like, and did they lose tonight? I want them to go to the final thing. I want them to go to the championship and lose in overtime in the last game, so that the majority of Minnesotans' times and expectations and hope will have been ruined, just like the Vikings. Yeah, I do. I can't just Murph, you try to sit on your ass for 2 weeks. I did. I finished Fire Emblem. I went for a hike. I went to the gym. I could do a podcast. I mean, really, is not. Maybe I'll go for a motorcycle ride. I haven't gotten the energy yet to get up and go on adventures just yet. Haven't haven't gotten there yet. The noble one, $5, but I will. I will. $5. Thank you for being white, Aaron. I appreciate. See how ridiculous that sounds. Thanks for having a dick. That sounds stupid to us. Oh my God, you're a woman. You're so shut up. There's a 1 in 2 chance she was born that way. What are you talking about? We should just do that. Thank you for being white. Well, thank you for being Hispanic, sir. Where's Alex? Is he in there? Hey, look who's our libertarian friend from Missouri, I believe. Yeah, no kidding. Camellia, absolutely. Aaron is a black guy. Surprise. Clayton Biggs. Who's Clayton Bigsby? All right, let's focus on that. Okay, Unkono, $2, Cappy. What do you think the IQ of your viewers is? Oh, here 115 on the low end, probably on average. If we all tested, I bet you're 120 to 125, somewhere in the low 120s. With people reaching as high as 160, and maybe on the low. You can't be. I guess we could understand the truth. A lot of people may not be intelligent, but they appreciate the truth. I guess we could go down to 100, but they got to be a unique normie, a unique normal IQ. But they'd have to have IQ. Doesn't mean you can't be interesting or think differently. So if we grab our 100 rank and file average IQ guys, they're probably different thinking. Maybe not doing calculus anytime soon, but they're definitely different thinking. Wisdom Vision Productions, $5. I had to cut off 99% of my family because they are obsessed with perceived racism and being victims. Yeah, by the way, Wisdom is black, in case you didn't know. I refuse to let my life be dictated by skin color. Right, exactly. And here's another thing. Now, obviously, my black male friends are much more independent-minded thinking because I don't hang out with Democrats, so they had to escape the plantation there. But yeah, if it was just the group think that's involved, especially in poor black communities. Holy shit. You think you're better than me? You think you're better than me? Yes, I am. I don't have a criminal record, and I didn't get 3 girls pregnant. I joined the military. I got my GI Bill. I became an engineer. Yes, I am better than you. And good. And here's the great thing was you're going to have a life. And not to be too sympathetic, but you can't have anything but sympathy and feel bad. How many generations of black people have just lived poor because that's all we've told them? Oh, yeah, it's the white man. Oh, and the Democrats come up. The Democrats have kept so many black people in poverty because they take away agency. Oh, think of the message. You're oppressed, you're victimized, you're discriminated against, the white man controls everything, blah, 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 blah. Well, if you believe that to be true, and why wouldn't you if that's all you've heard your entire life? Are you going to work hard? Zoomers right now, regardless of race, they're facing the same damn thing. Everything's horrible. Everything's, and I come in, I'm like, well, there's ways you could do it more intelligent. No, it's pointless. It's hope. It's like, well, yeah, now you are damned to poverty. You are condemned to squalor. You're going to say no. Well, you're going to make 0% of the shots you never take. You will miss all of them. Take some shots. But boy, a lot of Democrats they can reliably rely on that 9 to 10% vote. They can rely on it. But the solution, sit here and do nothing. We'll just take care of everything for you. Just vote us into power. How's that working, Democrat stronghold black communities? But generations generations since the Great Society has been implemented. But you're free, Wisda. You're out. You're doing your thing, enjoying life. My truth, the king. $2. Look at the threads on this cool battery minus walking guy fully power walking broski. Look at that, truth. Hey, it's cold in my basement. I love my Snoopy thing. And this is my favorite hat because I was out working in the yard because it covers my ears. My ears don't get sunburned. It's because the sun god is racist against the white people, trying to give us the skin cancer. Wait, hey, Ron, what's up? Ron's in the house. Vision again for $5. Listen here, Whitey. Give me that dope ass Snoopy hoodie as a form of reparations, and I'll consider you dead. Paid to the black man. Wakanda forever. No, I like this, dude. A lot of people, you can't find it at Walmart no more. I saw it. I'm like, okay, I'm dropping like I think it was like $9 or $10. I'm like, I'm getting that. I'm getting that. No, you can't have my Snoopy sweatshirt. I like it. There's some girls. I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. I'm like, yeah. Had I known, how you doing? There's a position number 2 available. Yes, you may apply. You like Snoopy? Yeah. Want to do the Snoopy dance? Then you guys don't remember that one. Unkono, $2. Gentlemen, beware of the strag. What's the strag? Is it the strag? Isn't that in Borderlands? Those are the beasts out in the wilderness. The Borderlands video game is the strag, right? John Watson, $10. It's a psyop. Blacks are not a monolith. They want us all to have the same level of thought because it keeps division amongst people. We are very capable of thinking for ourselves. I would disagree with you, John, and not with the black community. That dude, everybody. I used to have this argument. Are humans really brainwashable? Like, come on, you can't. Like, when I was in school, how many of these kids believe these lying teachers? Am I right, guy? I thought everyone was like Calvin and Hobbes. Like, look at these teachers, these lying teachers. And I look at everyone like believe the teachers. Like, are you fucking joking me? What? You actually believe? Like, where's Ferris Bueller? Where's Calvin? Most people are brainwashable to a certain extent. And yes, you're right. Black people are not a monolith. There's no monolithic group. But a significant enough percentage of them can be brainwashed. Just like, how do you think every girl got their hair poofy bangs? How do we get all these dipshit kids to go to college for worthless degrees? How is it everyone keeps voting? Why are young people conditioned to vote Democrat, not Republican? Just think about what would happen if at least people on the right would be, well, that'd be pretty tyrannical to brainwash kids via the education system to vote Republican, even if it would benefit the Republican Party. I think the Republican Party have a moral qualm with it. Democrats, fucking no. Oh, some people have more than others, and it's because of systems. It's not you. Oh, by the way, do whatever you want, major whatever you want. If things don't turn out, it's the evil white Republicans in the Senate fault. Yeah, it's the top 1%, man. I can't just bang on my drums all day and smoke my pot. It's the evil capitalist Trump pigs. So, yeah, there are groups within every other group of independent-minded people, usually ostracized from within their own group. I don't. You're right. There's no monolithic group, but it's monolithic enough. Have you seen the girls? White girls summer with the tan hats, the straw hats, and the white tops and the brown boots. Do you remember the cold shoulder phenomenon? Every freaking gal getting a tattoo and dyeing her hair purple with the bull nose rings. Humans are not a monolithic group. Not all. Not all. Adam Schmidt, $5. Saw you on just saying, hey, gotta run. Speaking of which, the decommissioned ankle bracelet is still going strong. Peace, everyone. Adam, you gotta write the book, man. Just write the book. Adam Schmidt. Hey, look, there's Alex. He's in the house. All right. Adam Schmidt, 20 generous dollars. Thank you very much. Here, buy you and the old lady something. I'm in a great mood. $20. What would we do with $20? I haven't gone out. Dude, all I did was play Fire Emblem. I went and ran errands and I got supplies. I tightened the bolts on the deck. Other boring. I got gas for the lawnmower. I bought some uh, like marble granite rock tile. We got vermiculite. What the hell? We got some cheap. I got like a wood for cutting. The woman wanted to cook, so she wanted not a metal, a stone top thing. I'm looking at marble. I'm like, oh hell no. Like granite, hell no. Hey, what's this cheap knockoff stuff that just does the exact same thing? Give me that shit. But you got to treat it. So I bought a spray bottle of sealer. Yeah, I did buy some video games though today. I did. I got Fire Emblem, Three Hopes. I'm saving that for when I fly across the Pacific again. This time I'm hiring a travel agency to do all the work so that not if, but when people fuck up, I get on horn. I'm like, fix this. Okay. Thank you. Walking 5 miles to the fucking hotel. We don't have a record. But thanks, Adam. John Watson, $10. The same game they're running on blacks. You're a victim is the same telling white men they're evil just because they're white. It's crazy. Right. They're telling every group of everybody else. It just happens to be white men have to be we're not the richest group, that'd be Asian males. We are the largest we're the largest single group of concentrated wealth. They're going after the money. That's what it is. You also conveniently, in being male, you get half the population being female. Ah, man, no. My violin's over there. I'll go play it for you sometime later. Yeah, it is crazy. It's ridiculous. It's against pretty much everything that we kind of optimize our country to be at one time. It's like, no, you who you are. It's based on what you do, not how you were born. And now it's the exact opposite. Oh no, I'll never stop slamming on the Democrats. Not because I got like some hate boner for the Democrats. They're evil. They're vile. It's not even because they're like gunning for my money. They are, and they're painting me as the victim or as the criminal or the evil guy, right? But how many generations of not white males have they kept poor with the self-pitying woe is you victimhood act? How many generations? Because it's oh, you're female. Well, don't try. Oh, you're black or you're Hispanic. Oh, life is so bad for you. Oh, don't try or anything. Oh, by the way, we're going to keep giving you lies and bullshit. You could just follow your heart. Money will follow and you could study yourself. Yeah, because women's studies majors make all the money in the world. You could go because Chicano American study major and African and history American study major. And if you don't make the money, well, that's the evil white man. They're sure a straight Christian, by the way. Forgot those two variables. And then these people live a pissed off, angry life. Oh, curse you, space dandy. That's only some people going to get that one. Hear me out on this. If you disagree with me, what I want you to do is go watch a series called Space Dandy. All right. You don't have to watch the second half because that's when the drugs kicked in with the developers. All right. Just watch the first half. There's a purple monkey evil villain. And the hero of the show, Space Dandy, is called Space Dandy. And he's this pompadour, idiot, dopey guy. Has a heart of gold, though. And there's this evil villain. What I love about the anime genre is anime has been around long enough that the creators of anime in Japan can poke fun at themselves because a bunch of themes and traits that are very common, tropes that are very common in anime. They kind of poke fun at it. And one is there's always back in the olden days with anime, there was an evil villain who always wanted, Moby Dick, Captain Ahab, really hated the hero. And I swear I will. So I forget the name of the purple monkey guy. But he's always, oh, curse you, Space Dandy. I will get you, Space. And Space Dandy don't even know who this guy is. He's like, who's this guy? Why is he coming after us? And he forgets him the next episode. Hating Space Dandy isn't gonna help the purple monkey bad guy. Matter of fact, the purple monkey bad guy in Space Dandy just did his own thing. He's got like a fleet of ships. He could go probably, he's got some resources. His entire life was hating the accursed Space Dandy. That's your fucking lives. The accursed so fucking white straight male. Oh, curse you, white straight male. Someday what? Okay, you get all the white man, fine. Yeah, you do the thing that got the funny mustache did and gas and all that. Hey, okay, and now what? You know what's going to happen? Another cartoon? Go watch the Family Guy episode where Wile E. Coyote finally catches the Roadrunner. That's what will happen. It's absurd. Your life is wasted hating Space Dandy. I don't have time for that. Wisda doesn't need it either. Wisda's out. I'm done. Done with the plantation. I'm gone. See ya. Space Dandy is a pretty good series, though, too. The first half. Then it just got weird. Alex Patino, a truck driving Latino agent in the field. My skin color has kept me from doing anything I want. Only if I find something to be a pain in the ass. When I say that, I mean laziness. If I find something to be a pain in the ass, when I say I mean laziness. Yep. I'm surprised you even got a truck driving job, Alex. The white man didn't take it from you, huh? How'd you? That's right. You still got leftover GI Bill you got to pass on to your kids. If only you made decisions, Alex, that would lead it. But the white man came in and prevented it. And now you're living in a ditch, drinking sewer water. Mav strike $5. Just started reading Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty. 100 out of 10. Thank you. Yeah, that's linked down below, by the way. You want to get out of power. Look, not to black men, obviously, because it's the Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty. It's tailored towards black men. But anybody generally who's in poverty, look, man, you're going to die. And black men die earlier than white men for various reasons. So your time's even a little bit more precious. Do you want to spend a life hating Space Dandy and accursed Trump and the white man? Or do you want to go out and have a little bit of fun? Heaven forbid you go hike with some white friends in Utah. Or you get in shape, you become an engineer, become a truck driver like Alex, go get a family, go get laid, go to heaven for is your time, is your life that you got nothing you're going to live 800 years. So maybe I'll spend 100 years hating white people. What? Do you got time for that shit? And so or do you want to get out of poverty? Do you want to get out of poverty? Do you not want to have what's happened to generations of your families before? What do you want? Not saying you abandon your family, but you can. I'm not saying you're going to be a billionaire either, but you don't have to be poor. You don't. And that's it. The Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty. For everyone else, go get Bachelor Pad Economics, which is kind of the watered down version, but it's universal to everyone. Even women could read that book and you girls would be wealthy. But I know you don't listen to anything that you don't want to listen to, like, hey, major in engineering, so don't bother with it unless you're going to do what's in the book. It's not an Oprah book where it's like, you can be a fat, dumb pig and do whatever you want. There's no consequences. You can be agitating and dumb. You can be lazy, and then the world will just go read The Secret. The Secret? Remember The Secret? Oh, The Secret. Mike Truth, the king, $5 from Vaggie. Vaggie reported my power walking speech as hurtful or bullying, so now I can't spell. Wait, what? You can't write power walking? What? You're kidding. You gotta be kidding, my truth. That you can't write power walking? Now you mention it, no one else has mentioned power walking. How is power walking? What sand got in what sand got in Karen's hoo-ha over at the censorship department that we can't say power walking now? Now I can't spell it out in super chats. This is why we can't have nice things. What is wrong? Does it have some meaning we don't know now? Is power walking a hurtful word? Oh, Ace Montana, Private Eye, $5. Change Cracker Jack to Caucasian Jack already. It's offensive. No. We should have gotten rid of Aunt Jemima. We should have gotten rid of the Land O'Lakes. Is Uncle Ben's rice? Could you still get Uncle Ben's? I liked Uncle Ben's rice when I was a kid. Oh my God. No, we got to keep Cracker Jack. No, we're going to keep it. Adam Schmidt, $2. Maybe I should switch to Snoopy theme. Wisdom Vision Productions, $2. All about money and power. The game never changed. But what's about money? See, okay, the Democrats, I get it. They don't want to work. But if it's about money, what money, what power? If you immediately outsource your future to a political party to take care of you, you have no power. You've given up all your power. And what money? The money that the Democrat Party, the Socialist Party, whatever happens to give you, what's that money going to buy? You tax enough of the working people to give you money because reasons, vote for me. The people aren't going to work and there's going to be nothing to buy. Kind of like how inflation's happening now. Vlad Elkins is in the house. Filipino working at CVS. I have lost some sleep recently since I'm a bit concerned that Clarey might be having some problems. Wiz Division Productions, $5 again. Binging Space Ghost Coast to Coast. That's a good one too. I got to watch that. And Venture Brothers. Venture Brothers is genius. Freaking genius. Can't believe I slept on this show back when I was a kid. Would you have appreciated it when you were a kid? I want to go watch the old Batman show, the one from the 60s. When I was a kid, I thought it was scary. Like the Joker was actually falling into like some green vat. Like, oh my God, is Batman going to get out of it? Oh, here comes the Penguin. I think it'd just be great now to watch as an adult. Adult Swim had some addicting banger shows. Yep, they did. Generation Apollo, $10. Dems say they're the champions of black community. No, they're not. If they were the champions of black community, the black communities would have been amazing by now. Detroit, North Minneapolis, Southside Chicago, Philly, whatever, Compton, it would have all been great. How many generations of black people have to just live in poverty and government finance squalor? How many before you say, hey, maybe these policies aren't working? Oh, but free shit, you say. Oh, well, okay. Well, we'll hold out. Don't worry. The white liberal Karen tells us she just needs another $1 trillion. Then we'll achieve critical mass. Then we'll have our flying spaceships. But they treated black people like second-class citizens for 100 years after the Civil War, and they treated you as slaves before the Civil War. Who fought the Civil War? Who was the political party that fought the Civil War to free the slaves? Was it the Whig Party? No. Was it the Continental? No, I think it was the Republican Party, if I recall correctly. Even in blue states, they're still racist, but more subtle now. Go to minute. Look, I don't know what's more racist than the shit policies and the shit standards of living the Democrats have delivered the black community and other communities as well. I don't know what's more racist. What more could the Democrat Party have done to the black community? Or what more could they do to hurt you? What do you need to be lined up and shot? It's even worse in some ways, just generation tortured generation after generation. The real racist, but more subtle now. Vlad Elkum, CPA. Oops. $2. I hope Clarey isn't having too many problems today. No, I'm not. What do you mean Thomas Sowell ain't black? What do you... No, I'm not having too many problems today. I went for a hike and I went and ran errands. Trump rocks, $2. Pow, we're walking all day. Trump rocks. Uncono, $2. California workers now want $30. Yeah, exactly. I remember when it was for 15. Then it was the fight for 15. Now 20, and now they want 30. Fine, have fun. You know, zero jobs paying $30 an hour is still $0 paid out. But you know, you guys all went to college. Ace Montana, Private Eye, $5. I was joking, Cappy. It is weird Dems haven't gotten to that one though yet. What was the one that you said? Let me go back. Al, I forgot. I'm sorry, Ace. I got to get through these because I got to go through some. Um, all right, there we are. That's it. Let me go through the fan mail here. This is Mike. Bold is sensitive. This you want needs to be removed. Done. Bold is sensitive. Recent project. This is some inside baseball on the video game industry. A recent project I worked on had a small team working on new technology for its launch into the market. This is why I'm wondering why video games suck nowadays. The team of programmers are very experienced between multiple decades of all of them. Technology was for some media on some new hardware. From what I could tell, the main guy was incompetent and had never worked on this type of product before, but was a classic diversity dude bro with an attitude of entitlement. The problems of our team was confronted were classic issues in this type of development with common solutions required substantial work to resolve, but nothing too surprising. Uh, the people in charge didn't like the estimates to be complete, the estimates to completion, given the work from the very experienced team members. What occurred next is exactly what is wrong with technology industry because these people with clearly no understanding of the technology involved, schedule greater frequency of meetings for us to explain the estimates to them. I think they truly believe we were going to dump decades worth of experience into a 20-minute meeting. The programming team were all in agreement to the estimates of our technical explanations. They eventually just stopped listening to us and started to fish around outside of our group to find someone that would not push back with their unreasonable requirements. They eventually located a sucker to agree to their estimates and handed them the tasks. Cut to much later. The work was actually completed substantially later than the estimates we had originally given. There you go. The sick party. I'm wondering how much a video game studio. Now, this isn't video games, it's something different, but it's adjacent. How how much of the shit we got in media, entertainment, video games is because a bunch of dude bros thinks video games are cool, but programming's for nerds, bro. They just think it's like go get some financing, tell them, oh, but cut. Yeah, you know that thing you said takes 6 months to do? Yeah, do it in 3. The sick part is that without all the means of negotiations, it might have been completed close enough to have been useful. In the end, it is questionable if the tech was actually useful to the project's completion. Another large game company I worked at had us work on some really cool technology over a long period of time in a small group of very experienced developers. Unfortunately, there were individuals in the group that loved to virtue signal and refused to consider any alternative opinions in any way. I was actually asked if I was a Trump fan in the interview process. There you go. I said, no, I am not. I am. Look at that. Just walk away from these companies, man. I am. I had a friend who was asked for lodging if he was a Trump supporter. He's like, you can't ask me that question. I'm always open to hear varying opinions on any topic, but I have a hard time holding back my "that's stupid" comments anybody to any time somebody says stupid shit. Needless to say, I tested my resolve with these virtue signalers and eventually lost. Fortunately, my direct report is a Trump fan, so he kept the team from summarily silencing any reasonable opinion. But the office was toxic once you were identified as not wanting to play the woke game. Yeah, just try to be a Republican in your 20s. Oh, so you want to kill women and minorities? Like, yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah, okay, let's just go there. Sure. Because you're not gonna believe me otherwise. Ah, you figured me out. Yeah, that whole I just want low taxes and a balanced budget, leave me the fuck alone. Yeah, that was a joke. I just really want to kill women and minorities, especially children. For all their future my breaking point when the virtue signalers decided to take a new employee and tried to conflate her 6 years experience with my 25 years to transfer some of my responsibilities to this person. For all their virtue, it wasn't beyond them to manufacture situations to encourage me to leave. The writing was on the wall. I made the mistake of talking to HR with the journal of their behavior and realized that there was nothing I could say or do to improve the situation and that there was almost nothing woke that they could do that was unreasonable. Um Positive note, I worked on a project. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through all this. It's a lot. That's a lot. Um, I think it's just that generation of 20 and 30 somethings that are woke now. I think that's really their religion. Like you must kiss the ring, homie the clown. Um, this is from Reen. Hey Cappy, given your recent video, went back to my old Bumble account to test it. Been years since I've been on. Anyway, a lot of likes for a guy got Anyway, a lot of likes for a guy, got 30, estimate 15 are bots because it's obvious. So far, you can message first, but so far I've gotten back 6 highs and the 4, how are you? So nothing's changed. Also, there's a swipe limit. Now you can run out of likes and either have to pay more for swipes or have to wait, looks like 48 hours. Anyway, I wouldn't vet. Yeah, okay, good for you, Bumble. You're gonna charge men for swipes. Do you charge women for swipes? You can't have a dating app without dates. And if girls don't wanna date you, you don't have it. Look, for all you people with dating apps, just stop. Just stop trying to sell to the guy. Just get the top 10% of men and charge women. Say, "Look, here are the top 10% of men. We interviewed them." Right? You can pay make it a club, a premier membership club. There's no dating. It's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. Uh Hi, Aaron. Thanks for the phone call. Really nice. Here's a development related to the teachers. Several years ago, I quit the union. This guy's a teacher because they're communists who hate me. They want to ban guns, trans the kids, tax the productive, keep all the really bad teachers in the classroom, and charge me a certain amount per year for union dues. Fuck that. At the same time, they do absolutely nothing to make my job easier. Out of the dues they collect from each of us each year, the local union who does all the contract negotiation and other work gets less than $100. They provide nothing besides liability insurance, which I could get elsewhere for about 200 per year. They donate their money to the Democrat Party and union boss. I bet you the union bosses have very nice houses. Apparently, teachers are opting out of the union membership in increasing numbers. In Education Minnesota, the union is finally concerned. This is the part where you say, oh, by gosh, by golly, here comes big titted Molly. It's well endowed Molly. My co-worker, I found out today that they have representatives going around to the various schools for the first time in my multi-decades year teaching career. The teachers union is now coming around and asking what members think. Oh, just don't join the union. I was asked by one of the union officers if I'd be willing to speak to one of the reps. My coworkers actually want me to tell the purple-haired harpies from St. Paul what I think is wrong with Education Minnesota. I will do as I am asked, and I am preparing my remarks. Use this information as you will. I'm not expecting that you discuss this topic on your show, but if you do, could you let me know so I don't miss the episode? Keep the name confidential. Yes, I will. Yeah, you're in Minnesota, man. You got to leave. You just got to leave. You got to leave. I will let you know. Come on, computer. There we go. Towards, just letting you know, towards the end. Now watch. Zillion super chats coming in. I'm here till 3 a.m. Remember that time he in one video he made enough super chats to retire, but he lost his voice? Oh, the tragedy. Okay. That one there. Finish. All right. All right. Bunch of requests coming in. Asshole Consulting is closed, by the way, until the 1st. All right. Did I catch up with all of them? I caught up with all of them. There you go. All right. Link below. Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty. If you have other issues generally about finance and economics, there's Bachelor Pad Economics. That's a book. And then Achieving Financial Excellence. That's a course offered through Teachable. You can search that. I don't have those linked below. That's about it. Vlad Elkham's in the house. We'll see you guys later. Toodle.